boys and girls. Welcome to my studio. All this year we've been working on the elements of art, the ingredients that artists use to create their wonderful paintings and sculptures and different craft projects. We've been talking about and using line and shape and color and value, form and texture. We haven't talked a lot about space this year. So today I want to talk a little bit about that and explain what that means. Now, usually when we hear the word space, we think about, outer space, the planets, the sky. Well, in art, space actually refers to the distance between things or around things. So artists are always trying to create a feeling of space in their artwork. They're trying to make some things look close to us and some things look far away. And they have lots of tricks to do that. So let's look at this penny. When we look at this penny and I hold it close to my face, you can see the penny is just about as big as my eye, right? It's very close to my face. There's not a lot of space between my face and the penny. But look what happens when I move the penny closer to you. Something's happening, isn't it? What's happening? Oops, number one, the penny's upside down. But as you can see, the penny now is covering my whole face. Does that mean the penny has gotten bigger? No, it just looks like it's gotten bigger because it's closer to you. The space between my face and the penny has gotten bigger. There's more space between me and the penny. So the penny looks closer to you. It's the penny's doing something else that makes it look closer to you. Can you tell me what it is? Yes, it's overlapping. It's covering up part of my face. Now, my face isn't gone, I promise. It's still here. But because the penny is covering part of my face, that's called overlapping. That helps you know that the penny is in front of my face. Now, if I were to pull the penny back and put it behind my head where you can't see it, there's lots of space there, right? And what if I pull it above my head? Now it's getting even smaller, isn't it? All right, what if I pull it way back here? It's getting smaller and smaller. Now the penny isn't really getting smaller, but by increasing the space between the penny and me, it appears to be smaller. Now something else happens sometimes in art when the artist is trying to create that illusion or that imagination that there's space between you and the object. And that's this. When the penny is close to you, sometimes they put the bigger things at the bottom of the page. And sometimes when the object is away from you, they'll put it at the top of the page. That also makes it look like the penny is further away. Let's look at some artwork where that really happens, okay? In this painting by Gustave Cabot, the artist has used the 3 different ways to create this feeling of space between his figures. He's made some figures very large and placed them at the bottom of the page. Then he's placed some medium-sized figures a little higher on the page and some very tiny figures higher on the page. If you look closely, you'll find some of the figures overlap. All these 3 things help create a big feeling of space between the front figures and the back ones. And here's a real-life video to show how that works. Look how tiny I am compared to the size of Barbie. There's a lot of space between us. But as I come forward, look what's happening. Look at my size compared to Barbie. I'm getting bigger and bigger. The less space between us, I get bigger and bigger. And when we're right next to each other, look, the space has been reduced. I'm closer to Barbie, and so now we're the right size compared to each other. That's space. And finally, let's look at some hot air balloons. Do you see the 3 ways we can tell which balloons are close and which balloons are far away? Right, the larger ones appear closer, the smaller ones appear farther away, the ones at the bottom of the page look closer, the top far away, and some overlap. So we've looked at 3 different ways that artists create this illusion in their drawings or paintings that some things are close and some things are far away. So I thought it'd be fun if we used balloons as our subject for our drawing, and we're going to create the same illusion of space through a drawing of balloons. So what you'll need is some crayons or markers, and then if you'll get one white piece of paper out of your supply pack. Started. First, let's begin with the large balloon that'll be in the bottom of our page. Just draw lightly until you like the shape, and then make it darker. It's going to go off the edge. Next, let's do the one that's behind the big one. Make it a little smaller, and only draw a part that's sticking out from behind the first one. Now let's move to the one that's really far away, up in the top corner, just a smaller sized balloon. And there we have our 3, front, center, and back. You can add a little tail if you want, like a ribbon hanging down from the balloon, but don't make it too long. Now you can add some other balloons in. Maybe there's a teeny one at the top, way far away. Just so tiny, not much detail since it's far away. Here looks like a nice spot for one. This one might be hidden a little bit by the other one. Maybe one more over here. I'm changing the sizes. This space looks empty. It needs another one. Maybe I could make this one look like it's behind my orange one. Just hide a little bit of it behind that one. And there we have a great collection of balloons. Now let's make them more beautiful, maybe with some patterns. Some stripes. I think I'll do polka dots on this one. You can use whatever patterns you want. I'm even making some of the spots look like they're going around the edge or behind the other balloon. It's going to hide part of it. The big one will hide parts of the second balloon. Let's see what's next. Oh, maybe some horizontal stripes. That might be fun. Checkerboard. Just going to draw lines and cross over. Oh, you know me, I love my flowers. Maybe this balloon has a beautiful flower on it. And what about a happy face? Well, sure. You can design your balloons however you want. Add different colors. And there you have some balloons. And now what if you wanted to turn them into hot air balloons? You can add a little basket underneath, a little rectangle. See, like these baskets? They hang down from the balloon. Just some little rectangles. Of course, as the balloons get bigger, the baskets can be a little bigger too. I'm going to color them in, and then I'm going to put some lines on top. The little lines I'm adding onto the basket help make it look more like a basket, like it's woven. Also adding more lines of the strings that hold the basket onto the hot air balloon. And if you made your line a little too long, just cover it up with your basket. If you want, you could even draw little people looking out of your basket. That might be fun. So I'm just finishing up my baskets, adding the strings that hold them onto the balloon. We don't want any baskets falling off our hot air balloons. Just adding some more detail to my basket. Even the one at the top. Teeny tiny baskets. They're so far away. We can't see a lot of detail on those. Now I thought it'd be great if I added some color to my balloons. Those real hot air balloons are so bright and colorful. So I'm just going to enjoy some coloring. And if you get tired, take a little break and come back to it later. Look at the colors on those balloons. Have you ever seen a real hot air balloon flying? I think there's a festival in Decatur where you can see lots and lots of these beautiful hot air balloons flying off. I think I'd like to ride in one someday. So I'm just continuing to add my color on each one of my balloons. I like to make each balloon a little different so they stand out from the other ones. Remember our trick about building a fence of color and then filling it in? I'm going to try to press hard with my crayon so that the color's very bright, like the real hot air balloons. Plus it helps build the strength and muscles in my hand for doing all sorts of other activities. Since this tiny one is so far away, I can color very lightly because things far away seem a little duller. You can't see as many details. That's another trick. So I'm going to do this one very lightly. Now when you're coloring a checkerboard, it's lots of fun because you color one space, then you skip a space and do the next one. Skip a space, do the next one. So you fill in every other space first. There's my fence. Fill it in. Do I do that one? No. This one, yeah, that one. That's the one. No. Yes, that's the one. So it has a pattern. You color one, skip one, color one, skip one. Then you can come back and fill in the blank ones with another color, or you could leave it white. Oh, that was fast. Now I'm just adding the finishing touches. So last, if you want to add some color in your background, take one of those peeled crayons. Use the flat side of the crayon and just lightly rub some blue or some purple, maybe both, into your sky. Just going to fill it in. I'm not going to press really hard. And that way I don't have to worry about getting some of my sky color on my balloons. Just finishing that up. And last, write your name, sign your artwork. I hope you enjoyed our drawing today as much as I did and our little adventure into the element of space. Bye-bye. See you next week.